Blitz. Jalen Hurts versus Jayden Daniels. I looked at the 4 quarterbacks left standing: Mahomes, Allen, Hurts, and Daniels. The one that we probably as a collective nation trust the least is actually the highest paid. Jalen Hurts, $51 million a year. Like, this is going to be something here in the NFC Championship game. And again, I say that not even half-heartedly. Jayden Daniels in this 1 year and in these couple of playoff games has earned my trust more than what I've seen out of Jalen Hurts. The way he handled the blitz against the Lions, winning by 14 points on the road against the number 1 seed. You talked about magic with the Commanders. The Cardiac Commanders are the most magical team. I don't care what happens in the Super Bowl. I don't care what happens for the MVP.
Magic is a tool. A tool.
I do think the story of this season, no matter who wins, even if the Chiefs three-peat, the story of this season is the emergence of Jayden Daniels and the way he turned around the Commanders, a 4-win team last year that's now 2 wins away from a Super Bowl. That's crazy.
That's pretty insane. And seeing the Commanders, I'm envisioning it right now. If they defy the odds, the Commanders have the worst odds to win the Super Bowl right now. Yeah. But if they somehow win the NFC, and then they somehow win the Super Bowl, that Super Bowl DVD is going to start with the Hail Mary versus the Bears. It's going to start with, who is it, Tyreek Stevenson, I believe, on the Bears?
Tyreek Stevenson hyping up the crowd, talking trash.
Yes. Yeah. Just the gnat sound of that. And then once the ball is hiked, that ball being caught in the end zone, the butterfly effect of that play. I don't think, even if mathematically the Commanders would still be in this spot, they have a chance to be in this spot, I don't think they are in this spot without that kind of just game tossed into their lap on a play like that. They certainly are one of these stories of the league in 2024, 2025. And there are few offenses left that I am more afraid of than theirs.
Yeah, that's crazy. With a rookie quarterback and God knows who catching the ball, Diami Brown and Terry McLaurin, like, those are not the household names that these other guys have had that have gotten lifted to this level. I believe, the 4th rookie quarterback to make it to the NFC Championship game. Brock Purdy, I believe, was the last one to do it. And they're 5-point dogs on the road right now. I mean, we called it this last time against the Lions. It felt brave. It felt bold. I don't know if I'm ready to call it against the Eagles, but I would not be shocked, man. I would not be shocked.
And the one thing about the Commanders, too, is if you're going to give the Eagles credit for one thing, is that they don't let teams score. And that defense is just bend, don't break. They keep you everything in front of them. They got a great defensive line. There hasn't been really many teams at all that have been able to score on them. And really, except for one as of recently, and it's the Commanders.
Yeah.
And the Commanders put up 36 points on them, I know, without Jalen Hurts, but it's still the same defense. And so because of that, I don't want to be hyperbolic, but I mean, I think it's pretty apparent at this point once you really start to boil it down. I think we're looking at the best rookie quarterback campaign in the history of the NFL.
Ever.
Right here, right now. There's nobody else that comes in comparison to it. You want to bring up Ben Roethlisberger with the number 1 defense, go right ahead. No. But in terms of what they are accomplishing and the way that they are accomplishing it, winning 2 road games now in the postseason, he's been sacked 1 time in 2 playoff games. I think that the poise, the offensive efficiency, the ability in late game situations, the story around the franchise having never done anything in the past 30 years, and then all of a sudden this clicks. I think you're looking at the most impressive rookie quarterback campaign that the NFL has ever seen. So that's going to be a tricky, I guess, blaze of fire that you're going to really have to be careful of if you're Philadelphia, because this is a defense that has seen this quarterback twice. So whatever side makes the proper adjustment here is going to be really tricky, because I'll give the Commanders credit for one thing. They out-Detroited Detroit going forward on 4th down, not making crucial mistakes, that 12 men on the field late game to give them the first down. They're out-Detroiting Detroit, going at 87% on 4th down in the regular season, highest in NFL history.
Sick.
We want to give Dan Campbell all the credit for what he does. Let's give Dan Quinn the credit too, with a rookie quarterback and basically a brand new offense. I mean, this is a really dangerous team. And, I mean, let's talk about the best quarterback in the NFC at the moment is guy in Washington.
And that's the thing. All right, so how about we say this too? Since we've turned into the new century, every single NFC team now that the Commanders have made it to the NFC Championship game, every NFC team has made it to this stage, except for the Dallas Cowboys. I think it might be time. Like, I think next year, if they don't, it's time for us to consider revoking the name America's team. Like, it's got to be on the table. They're the seller almost now of their own division. They are irrelevant, but for all the wrong reasons. I don't even give a damn who they hire as their head coach. It's about time.
They treat the Cowboys like Rudy. Like, give them a shot. They're kind of fun. You give them a noogie, then you pass them around. Like, you just kind of, you don't take them seriously. Like, they're just kind of there, and they're fun to make fun of. So, you know what? Everyone's got an opinion on them. I think I'll keep the name America's team for the Cowboys.
I don't like you saying that the Cowboys are Rudy, and I just don't like that. It's
Is
just
it the meaning to Rudy?
It's like saying Duke is the underdog. I don't really like it's. This is the Cowboys we're talking about, the highest expectations. I don't know. I'm not going to compare the Cowboys to a walk-on Notre Dame who, scratched and clawed his way to some playing time. But, I mean, with them, America's team, they draw the rating. It's a business. They got some issues. I wonder who they're going to get a head coach too. Because you think about it. Now you get the Cowboys open. The Bears, Raiders, and Jaguars are fighting for Johnson. All those guys are going to have to decide where they're going to go from there. Jets still have to make a decision. You got to assume both coordinators are going outward from the Lions. I mean, in terms of coaching spots,
there's only so many spots though. We keep talking about
there's only so many coaches. There's only so many coaches too.
Yeah, earlier you gave Todd Monken a job. I mean, we're giving Aaron Glenn.
That's what I'm saying. So Aaron
job.
Glenn will get a job. Ben Johnson will get a job. Maybe Pete Carroll will get a job.
There's not enough jobs. Where are all these jobs?
Raiders, Jets, Jaguars, Dallas Cowboys, the Saints, the Bears. That's 6. That's 7 right there. So I'm just saying.
Right. All right, I'll give you that.
Well, I'm just saying.
Did Ben Johnson hurt himself at all by dialing up a Jameson Williams?
Who are we looking at? Ben Johnson, 500 yards of offense with a quarterback who had 4 turnovers, an offense that had 4 turnovers. I'm not. He's okay. Aaron Glenn is the one who I think takes a knock. Aaron Glenn, can we take him out of the Hall of Fame? They scored every drive. Every single drive.
They're on the 4th stringers. And
it doesn't matter. Hold on. So a week ago, in week 18, when they were going against the Vikings, and he dialed up a perfect game plan, kept Arnold on his butt the entire game, we wanted to, throw a parade for Aaron Glenn and the great job he did. But the second that it doesn't work and they get burned, it's because of the 4th stringers and no longer because of Aaron Glenn. That's not very fair to go both sides like that.
To be fair, he thought if I just keep blitzing a rookie quarterback, I can get out of this thing alive. But he realized very early on, he should have realized this is not your typical rookie.
No.
Did you see that guy break his arm? Who was at the defensive back? Who got his arm
Robertson. Samik Robertson. Broke his elbow.
I was watching that thing at a dinner on my. I was that guy with his phone up with the game going at a very, very elegant, fancy dinner out in Boca. I felt ashamed until about I'd say 10 minutes into the dinner. There's a crowd of fellas behind me watching it as well. I was like, all right, we're good. I won't be ostracized here.
Oh, you're the resident guy's guy. Like, you've got the plug to the game that everyone else is wish they were watching right now.
Yeah.
Now, if Washington's getting all these points in that NFC title game in Philadelphia and a team they've already played, will you take Washington with the points?
+5. I would try to wait. I want to see if people will bet up the Eagles and we can get it to 6 and a half. I'd feel a little better.
Hurts looks so immobile in the 3rd quarter, early 4th quarter. When his legs were taken out and his knee buckled, he looked like washed up Ben Roethlisberger. That's how stoic, he's like a statue in the pocket he was. That's why he got taken down for a safety in that game. Because when you take away the legs to Jalen Hurts, he is extraordinarily average. He is just kind of a basic quarterback. The difference maker with him is being able to extend the play and actually tuck the ball and run.
Yeah, and the weather stunk too, so that doesn't help either.
Who do you trust more in this game? It's the NFC Championship game. Who would you rather It's the 4th quarter. It's a 1-possession game. Who are you more threatened by if they have the ball and they're about to drive down the field? Jayden Daniels or Jalen Hurts?
There's an easy answer to this, right?
Exactly. Yeah,
there's an easy answer here. Yes.
And with that being said, nobody's throwing their mortgage on a Nick Sirianni coach team. It's not like you're expecting this guy to make the right decisions or the same moves. Dan Quinn, I would feel better about in the big spot too. There's a lot of reasons to be on the Commanders once again. It just feels like at some point the magic's got to run out, right? It can't keep happening.